Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm Diana. Welcome to Wednesday Workshop Live with Build a Quilt. Build a Quilt, of course, is home of Patchwork in the Hoop. That's right. All you need is your embroidery machine and a 5x7 hoop. That's a 6x6, but you get the idea. A small hoop, which most people will have. And I just want to welcome you all in tonight. Anyone who is new, welcome, welcome, welcome. All of our repeating offenders, as it were. Welcome back, everybody. So glad to have you with me this evening. Excuse me. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves in the comments so that we can say hi. I already see that our friend T is here. Good evening, T. It's so nice to see you. And T sent me some great photographs, which I'm not going to share because they are of her family and her son. So I'm not going to put those out there, but I just wanted to thank her. Her son has gone off to college for the first time. And I just think that's fabulous. As somebody who's teaches at the university level, I love seeing the freshmen show up. It's like seeing the kindergartners show up. They're all wide-eyed and excited, and they have so much to look forward to. So it's so great. And thank you so much, T, for sending those. I appreciate it. Your sound is cutting out. Is it? Hang on, I have a fan going. Is it a fan noise that you think is cutting out? Is anyone else having a problem with the sound cutting out? I've got the fan on because, are you guys ready for this? It has been 110 degrees here in my area of Chicago, and Chicago itself in the city has been like 115. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Sue. Hi, Kathy. You're from hot and steamy Charlotte. Well, we're right there with you, my friend. Your sound is good. T, he's having a great time so far. T, it sounds like the sound might be okay in general. If it's cutting out on your end, you might want to go out and pop back in, dear. That could help. If you all start hearing my fan, excuse me for that. I apologize. And if it gets to be too much, I'll turn it off. But it really, otherwise, you're just going to start to see me melt. In fact, I've got my oversized work shirt on that I work on here in the studio because basically putting on any other clothes is just a hideous idea at this point in time. Great, T, that might really help. Sometimes that helps me for sure. So Kathy, it's hot and steamy in Charlotte. Yeah, I know the whole East Coast is getting, the sound was cutting out. Let's see, out in the intro, but better now. Kathy, oh, okay. Okay, we'll see how it goes. If you all start telling me there's a problem, then I will go turn that fan off. That might be causing the problem. I hope not, though. We'll see. Well, it looks like we've got a great group. Hi again, Ruth. And, of course, hi to Sue. Sue, so glad to see you again this week. We've got a lot to do tonight, actually. There's going to be a new block, and some of you might have caught wind of what that is. If you saw my little live, my little like 5-second live earlier in the day. Can I tell you what happened there? So I was going to pop on to invite folks to come to the live tonight. And I literally just got on and my phone rang and I saw that it was Dave. And when he calls, I have to pick it up in case there's something wrong, something, he needs my attention. I have to pick it up. So I just said to the camera, to the live, I said, hang on, I'll have to be back. And I started to end the stream and Dave's like giving me his traditional greeting. And I'm like, stop talking. Because he always tells me, hi, sweetie, I love you and stuff like that. And I'm like, stop talking. You're live on the air. And then I went in and got rid of that particular little 15-second. I don't think anybody saw it, but it was a little bit embarrassing. And then I redid it. So T, I'm so glad he's doing good. Oh, he was a little homesick. Well, kids never think they're going to be homesick. All of them, the girls, the guys, everybody, they're always homesick for a little bit because it's a whole new scenario. It's the first time you're really, really living on your own. You know that family is there for you, but in the moment, you've got to make those decisions for yourself. And it's something you got to get used to. Like I said, it's like the kindergartners coming to school for the first time, but I'm glad he's loving it. I really am. All righty. So Are you all ready for some memes? I only got 2 tonight. I'm not gonna just cover us in them. I felt like I did too many last week, but I've got a couple of them. And we'll start with this one. And it says, I thought this was hilarious. Sure, bring the family over. Sue, T, Kathy, Ruth, Diana, whoever is working on a quilt. So bring your own food, your own dishes, and a folding table if you've got one. Is that the way it works at your house? Dave knows not to invite folks to the house if I'm working on the quilting that day, or they can just sit out in the driveway and have a barbecue and do all of that without me, because when I'm doing my quilting, I'm not doing anything else. In fact, like Wednesday nights, because of the live, we just know it's sandwich night, right? That's all we're doing. We're doing sandwiches, because by the time he gets home and the time I get on and get ready, there's no way. Sorry, I've got hair in my eyes. I've been trying to get in to get my bangs trimmed, and it's going to be another 2 weeks, and it's going to drive me crazy. But anyway, so yes. So it's sandwich night on Wednesdays, and yeah, you don't invite folks over if I'm doing my quilting, for sure. Now let's see, I've got one more little meme to share, and I just thought this one was really sweet. This one will come right up. Are you all seeing this one? I hope. Let me make sure. Yeah, it looks like you are. Quilting is love made visible. Isn't that a great thought? You know, when we make our quilts and stuff and we put them out in the world, we're making the world a more beautiful place. And yeah, we're sending that love out into the world. Love made visible. I like that one. What do you guys think of that one? I thought it was pretty good. All righty. Now I have one. Now that's the only 2 memes I'm doing tonight. And then I have a thank you to share tonight. And this comes from our friend Kathy, who's with us. So let's all give Kathy a hand for sending in her photo and sharing with us. And let me bring that up. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, it's up there. Good. Thanks for sharing, Kathy. So it's a little hard to see, but I'm gonna try and point your way through this, because I thought this was an excellent picture to share with you all, because then it allows me to kind of give you a little tip. So you can see here, it looks like Kathy has a magnetic hoop that probably works with her specific machine brand. It's not a dime hoop, I know that, but so it looks to me like it belongs with a specific machine brand, but the idea is the same. And you can see she's been making, oh, Kathy, I'm so sorry, I forgot what piece you were making. Type it in the comments, Kathy. Let us know what piece you were making, because I've forgotten now. But she was making all of her pieces. And what she did is such a fantastic idea. You can see that some of them are done and they're on the outside of the hoop. And then some of them are kind of in the hoop a little bit. And then some of them are in the hoop here being made. What she has done, baby lock hoop. Thank you, Kathy. So this is for baby lock. And I can't remember what block you were making, Kathy, if you can let me know. I know you told me and it's gone right out of my head. I'm so sorry. But what she's doing here is she is using her stabilizer on a roll. And especially for larger hoops, because she's filling up quite a large hoop here. And she's really getting the absolute most out of her stabilizer. So what she's done, I'm gonna bring this down now for a second. What she has done, and you can do it with a regular hoop too. You do not have to have a magnetic hoop, folks. Let me take this hoop apart. There. So what she's done, once you have your stabilizer, let me grab a piece. I'm just going to grab a regular old piece of my stabilizer. And I have done this before, but I just never thought to really share it with you all, but it's great. And since Kathy did, we're going to share it. All right, so here's our piece of stabilizer, and it would be in the hoop, right? And all of that would look correct. then your roll would be over here. And as you're doing it, or it could be on either side, I'd put it on the inside so you're rolling all the stuff that's complete to the outside. And so what she's done is once you fill up your hoop, you take your top hoop off, which if you have a hoop like this, just take it out of your machine. If you have a magnetic hoop, you can usually leave the bottom in the machine and then just adjust. And then what you do is you roll your stabilizer over so it's filling the hoop again. You put your top back on. Out here where it's on the far side, you would see the done pieces, and then you would have new pieces in here. And so in the end, you're going to end up with one big long piece of stabilizer and your segment pieces. And that's great because you can still get in there. Now, they might not all line up in lines for when you're cutting them out. You might have to be a little careful to get some of them cut out so you don't cut pieces in half. That was a thing that I had to make sure that I didn't do the first time I did this. But let's look at Kathy's picture again. But you can see by the time she's done, she's going to have all of her pieces on one piece of stabilizer, one great big piece of stabilizer. And then you just cut them out and you're ready to go. And really, even though you have to take your hoop off and adjust and all of that, it can save you a little bit of time. And it can actually save you some of your stabilizer. If you don't want to use pre-cuts, I use pre-cuts because they're easy for demonstration and things like that. But when I'm working on my pieces on my own, a lot of times I will use that technique. So again, thank you. Kathy was working on the Riley Blake Black Challenge. That's right. Kathy, is it done now? I know you were getting really close to getting your top finished. Is it done? You'll have to let us know. But let's give Kathy a hand. Thank you so much for sending those pictures, Kathy. I truly appreciate it. In fact, I will do a little quick tips video, one of those between 5 and 10 minute videos I do sometimes. And I will put that out to show you guys like how to roll it off and stuff like that, because it's hard for me to hold that up. But I will do that, and then it'll be out there for you to see it, just to kind of get it all clear in your head. But I think that is an absolutely wonderful idea. And thank you so much for sharing that, Kathy. Again, folks, if you have pictures of things you're doing or tips that you want to send to me, things that you do, maybe there's some kind of a container and you figured out a way to make it work as something for your quilting life, send those to me. Send those tips to me with a picture, and I will definitely show them and share them. And that's how we all get smarter, right? With our quilting journey. So no in line at DMV Friday, Monday, yesterday. Oh, so you were in line at the DMV, so you didn't get it. I see. That's all right. Well, sometimes you got to do the DMV thing, right? So, but I can't wait to see pictures when it's done, Kathy. I know it's going to be gorgeous. Alrighty. So that was thanks for sharing. And we've done our memes. Now I have a little bit of an announcement that has to do with last week. Last week, when we talked about finish quilting in quilts that have embellishment, I also told you I was going to do a full form video and have that out this week. And so I know some of you were probably going, where is it, Diana? Well, I've decided not to do it that way because for about, I told you recently, we're starting to make a few adjustments and changes, good things, right? So about 8 or 9 months ago, I started thinking about doing some free, we like that word, right? Free mini courses for you guys that would come out. They'd be on a topic that has to do with in the hoop and all of that and our quilting. And they would come out and you would have them available to you for 60 days. And then they're going to go away. And so and in those courses, there are going to be things you can download, worksheets you can download if you need them, directions you can download if you need them. All of that will be yours to keep. Kind of almost like taking those master classes, but you don't have to sit and watch the whole thing at once and be done. It would have like several video parts. I'm going to go watch this video and take this information now. And like I said, you would have 60 days to watch the whole thing, because when I do like the video I wanted to do for the quilting, it was going to end up being almost a 2.5 hour video just on that. And I thought, no, nobody wants to sit and watch a 2.5 hour video, even if it's time stamped. You'll always watch it through all the way one time, right? So in a mini course, you can do a lesson or two, and we'll call them lessons, but I'd prefer to call them segments, really. You'll do a couple of segments. You'll come back in a couple days when you have time and do a couple more segments. You'll have they'll be open. The window will be open for 60 days. Then that mini course will go away. At some point in the future, those mini courses will always come back, but I'd like to do at least 2, maybe 3 mini courses, big chunks of information for you guys, at least 2 to 3 times a year. And what I would have you do, there would be on the website, there is going to be a little sign up where you kind of register, so that when the mini course becomes available, just like there is with Quilt Lab, there's going to be a whole section on the website where you can go and watch the videos, all of the download paper stuff kind of thing will be emailed to you right at the beginning. Then you can watch those videos as you need to. And then only the people that sign up for those mini courses, even though they're free, only the folks that sign up for them will have access to that section for 60 days. That's my idea. And the first one I want to do it all about finished quilting with our embroidery machine. And plus there's going to be some segments too, where I'm going to talk about quilting ideas and things that you might want to do on your sewing machine. So it's going to be, you can see how it's going to be really in depth. What do you all think about that idea? Is that something that you are interested in? Something where you can kind of almost like taking a big class on your own. And then of course, you'll always be able to send your questions and stuff to me. And of course I'll answer them. Kathy, you love the idea of the mini course. Good, good. That's so great to hear. Oh, I'm thrilled about that. So the first mini course, I am going to try and put it out this fall. It's going to be like way before Thanksgiving, but I'm not going to put a date on it. I don't want to mess that up and stuff, but I want to have it out this this fall. Then we would do another mini course in this either late winter, early spring, or spring maybe, and then late summer, those kinds of things. And so one of the mini courses I know that I'm going to do for you all is really, truly would be a masterclass on Build a Quilt, on translating a pattern into a Build a Quilt version that you can make at home, just like we did with Riley Blake. With that, though, you would need to have our combo set, or our sets 1 and 2, our basics, what we used to call our basics 1 and 2, or what is now out on the website as the combo set. You would need that for that. So that is a small investment. However, when we have coupons and sales, get it then when you can save some money. Sign you up, Ruth. Oh, that's you guys are so cute. I love you. Sue says, sound great. Awesome. Good. I'm so glad, because that way then our regular time together and videos together can be less about me always explaining that stuff to you, because you guys will have, I will explain obviously, but I won't have to explain so much in detail. You will have been able to get all that information in detail. And if you sign up for one and you get halfway through it and the 60 days is up, that mini course will come back. And probably at least the first couple of years, the mini courses are going to come back each year at some point, so that everybody kind of gets a chance to get them and see them. So that's coming, and that's why that video isn't out. And I hope that works out for everybody, because that's where we're going with it. All righty. Okay. So that's about the mini course. Now, I've got a little demo for you tonight that has to do with our quilt along that we're doing with the Friendship Snowball blocks, the Mosaic ones. That's coming. But before we get there, I want to I've got a whole pile of stuff over here to show you guys. I want to introduce you to a brand new, recently we came out with our collection of segment singles. A single block in a single size. Sometimes they might come in 2 sizes, but a single block in a single size that can either be exchanged in another full block for another part. Like the first one we did was our Mosaic flying geese unit. So if you've got flying geese in your pattern, you could exchange it for this one, right? If it's a 5-inch segment pieces that you're using. So, or you can use them to make a whole piece in and of itself, a whole quilt in and of itself. And so back last year, I did 2 versions of the string piecing. I did a regular string piecing square, which is a 5-inch string piecing square. And our good friend T, she's making the cutest quilt with string piecing with this size. Now that's a lot of blocks to do, but honestly, when you think about quilting in the past, the average quilting block when like the first 20 years I was a quilter, the average size block was only 6 inches. And a lot of them were smaller. You worked with a lot of smaller pieces. We're fortunate nowadays we get to do those big jumbo beautiful blocks as well. So there's this one that's out there. And then later in the year, I did another one that is the pyramid one. It's based on this pyramid shape and then goes from there. Okay, those are available. Now, these were originally available at a slightly higher price point than our singles are now. So here's an announcement. I have gone through the website and picked out all of our things that will qualify as our segment single collection. And unless they were lower than $4.50, I have adjusted their prices to $4.50. And because all segment singles are going to be $4.50 for the whole pattern and the digital thing. So if you don't have these yet, you might want to grab them now that there's a little bit of a discount. Well, it's just the price has been permanently cut to that. So several of you have been asking me for a little while now, can you do these in a bigger size? So I was thinking about it, and it's no problem for me to do these in a bigger square, like an 8-inch or a 7-inch, or you're sorry, we're going to take a little announcement break here. T is on block 92. T, do you know how many blocks you have to make in total? 92 is an awful lot, my friend. Oh my goodness. Good for you. That's a lot of scrap fabric. And I know she's doing a lot of it in Tulip Pink. So it's gorgeous. You guys are going to love it when she will eventually send me a picture, because I'm going to harass her until she does, because that quilt is going to be gorgeous. 132, you're almost there. You're really close. Keep going. Yeah, keep going for sure. So you were all asking, can you make this bigger? And I can make bigger squares, but you know that with Build a Quilt, I try to always keep things in that 5x7 hoop, because so many people that don't have bigger machines, like many of us do, only have a 5x7 hoop. It's the biggest one that they've got. And I want anybody and everybody who wants to do this to be able to. So I was thinking, how can I give you a bigger string pieced block and still keep it in a 5x7 hoop? And I thought, well, what's wrong with doing a triangular block? Not triangular, rectangular. What's wrong with doing a rectangular block and filling up that whole 5x7 hoop? So are you ready? Here we go. Tonight's new segment single is the 5x7 string block. Now, I've got 2 samples here to show you, because there are 2 ways to do them. And in the pattern set that's available over at the website, so this is a single, so the whole set's $4.50. There are 2 ways to make these. This way is completely scrappy. Now, this is all Lori Holt fabric, but you could do all scrappy, any designer, anything you want. But this is 7 different fabrics, okay? 7 different ones. And I just picked and just grabbed. When I go scrappy And this is what I recommend for scrappy. When I go scrappy, I just put my hand in and reach out. Unless it is a very glaring I use it. I don't question it, especially if I'm picking scraps that were all in a collection or one designer's sets of collections that typically work in the same colors, Tula, Lori Holt, that kind of thing. K Facet. I mean, a lot of the designers have their color palette. So this is 7 different fabrics. The other way you can do this is what I call a curated set. You can take the fabrics from a single designer's collection and pick out 4 of them. Wait, 4 of them. T, T's so excited. Good. Yay. I'm so glad. And you can do it what I call curated. You use one fabric for the center, the same fabric, going out. So green, cream, and taupe, green, cream, and taupe, taupey orange. This is one, I don't remember whose collection this is. Do I have that information on this board anywhere? I do not. But this was one of my favorite collections in the fall a couple of years ago. But you could do this with any collection that you have. And when you do it like this, when you go to put them together into a quilt, one, you'll use less of them. You won't have to make 130 of them. But you're going to get a very interesting looking striped effect in that quilt. You're going to love it. You're going to get a striped effect with this one as well, but it's going to just be completely random in your stripes. Your corners on this, on the rectangular string block, will make a diamond shape. So whereas, where did that little, here we go. Whereas the original one, the corners create a square, or with this pyramid one, it makes a small square. Every 2 of them will make a small square in the center. With this one, you're going to get a diamond in the center. So a whole new little shape there, okay? So in the pattern set, you've got a full demonstration video, okay, to make these, because I go through the trimming process with you. And I go through this next piece as well, but I'm going to share with you my tip that I like for making these and why. So here's your pattern set. That's what it looks like out on the website. Let's see, I've got this is a great use for jelly rolls, and you could use coordinating yardage on the corners. Yes, you absolutely could. Of course you can. Absolutely. Great idea, T. Fantastic. For sure. Great way if you've got leftover jelly roll strips. Excellent. I do that a lot in my other string piecing. If I've got leftover jelly roll strips, I just throw them in the scrap bucket and use them typically for that. But for this one, this rectangular one, what I did and what I tell you about in the pattern is to use 5 by 10 pieces. You can get more than 1 out of each piece, but the reason the 5 by 10 works out well is because when, let's see, yes, I've got one here. I've got one made in the hoop here. I haven't trimmed that yet, obviously, right? When they're in the hoop like this and you're laying your fabric diagonally, let me lay this piece down. The 5 by 10 fits perfectly and gives you plenty of room out here for trimming it out of the stabilizer to get that perfect 1/4 inch. So but T's idea of the jelly roll will work well. You'll just have a smaller width. You won't have to do quite as much trimming. That would be great. But with the 5 by 10, so you'll have a little left over. You'll have enough to make each one of your stripes, and your one piece will be plenty to make both corners on this if you do that. Now, these 5 by 10 pieces, the reason I grabbed these and started to use them for this was because I have a few sets of these that I've had for a while. Occasionally, Kathy, honestly, Kathy, have you read my mind? that's exactly what I'm about to say. These are called Jolly Bars. If you go over to the Fat Quarter shop, and I'm not being supported, whatever, by them. If you go over to the Fat Quarter shop, they have what they call Jolly Bars. It's like their exclusive pre-cut shape. And I know that Kim Jolly, who owns the Fat Quarter shop, she has some quilts that she uses Jolly Bars. Like you can make a whole quilt with one Jolly Bar or two Jolly Bars or three Jolly Bars. It's really kind of a fun thing. It's almost like a choose your own adventure idea in that way. And so she has these. However, as Kathy has so aptly put, Kathy, you literally were in my brain. If you have layer cakes or leftover layer cake squares, if you're going to do completely scrappy, but when you get a few leftover squares, I just go in, pick the one I want, and I cut them directly down the center, and it creates two Jolly Bars, basically. Because this starts out at 10 by 10. And so then you have basically two Jolly Bars, and you can get a whole bunch of these done with two Jolly Bars. And in this regard, you can do them this way, or even with a set like this, you can for sure do them completely random as well. You just know that all your colors are going to go together because you're using one curated fabric design set. All righty. Oh, that's a good idea too. Yes. So any questions about that? Now you can always, as T said, use jelly rolls. They're a great way to do it. And you can cut from your fat quarters. You can cut from your yardage, anything you want. But I'm just going to suggest, and what I tell you in the pattern is cut your pieces at 5 by 10. If you use your jelly rolls, cut them in 10-inch strips. That works the best for this one. You're so cute. You're so cute. She's so excited. I made someone happy today. I think that makes my day for sure. So if you have any questions, pop them in and I'll answer them for you. But that is the new block, the 5 by 7 string pieced block. Now, I will tell you that I know that there are some of you that want bigger squares, and that's going to come, okay? This actually was due to be what we talked about on Wednesday night workshop the week I came down with COVID. So this is a little delayed to get to you because of the COVID thing. But here it is. And I hope you all like it. It's a fun block to make. It really is fun. It's super easy. If you like doing the squares, these are available out at the website as well, for sure. In fact, because these are 5-inch and these are 5 by 7, I'm trying to think now. Is there any way you could do these together? There might be. You could maybe do these together. If you have our basic set, the one that has the split rails in it, you might be able to find the split rail that fits into this bottom section. I'll play with that and see what I can figure out, because that might be like a whole new idea we could come up with. I'll play around with that and see what I can do. Take your money. You're so hilarious. You like it a lot, Kathy. Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so very glad. You guys are so sweet. I'm glad you like that. This one is a fun one. I like this one for sure. And that leads me to a question that I got from a new Quilt Lab subscriber. And can I take a minute? I'm just checking my time because I have one demo to do over here for you guys here in a moment. We have several new Quilt Lab subscribers this week. I don't know what was in the air over the weekend, but on Saturday and Sunday, my phone started blowing up with new Quilt Lab subscribers, and I'm thrilled about that. So Monday, I spent all day Monday sending out all the Quilt Lab stuff to the new folks. So welcome to all of our new Quilt Lab subscribers. Welcome to all of our new visitors in general. We love having everybody. No one is excluded here at Build a Quilt. Everyone is always welcome. But I wanted to welcome you. And that leads me to the question. Somebody said, are we going to be doing a quilt with the Quilt Lab blocks? And the answer is yes. Yes, we will. I put the pattern out for that in the fall. Now, we don't necessarily do all of the blocks that we did during the year. Like last year, our quilt last year, we only did 4 of the blocks from the whole year to make that quilt. But that's coming for you. So hang on, it's here. Even though your baby lock has a ginormous hoop, the 5x7 is your favorite. It's just a nice size. You know, that 5x7 hoop used to be the biggest hoop. I remember when 4x4 hoops were the biggest hoop you could get your hands on. And when they came out with 5x7, we were all like, oh, 5x7. It's a really great workhorse hoop. I love my big ones too. I won't deny it. But that 5x7 is a great sized hoop. So the quilt pattern that we're going to make from our Quilt Lab blocks is still coming. So I don't want you to worry about that. In fact, I've been working on it. I'm trying to decide if I want to add in 1 or 2 of the Riley Blake blocks, because we're going to be doing the 10x10 versions of the block in the quilt this year. What do you guys think? Would you like me to add a couple of the Riley Blake blocks in to the overall quilt pattern for us and kind of make it a combo? The Riley Blake block challenge blocks were the reason we did the 10x10 in the first place. So you guys can let me know what you think about that. Alrighty, so that is the new string block. Now I want to do a quick demo for you, and then I have a couple of announcements at the end and our question of the week. So let me flip over. Let me turn the light on over here. And let me bring up the other camera. There we go. Alrighty. So if you come up with questions, guys, just pop them in. I will see them. And you're down either way, T. Good. That's good to know. Alrighty. So, okay. Here is the block that we're doing the friendship quilt with. All right. 5x5 Mosaic friendship block. It was our second segment single block. The first one was our Mosaic flying geese unit. This was our Mosaic friendship snowball block. And I showed you how to do these edges here in the original video so that you have fabric that is out here for trimming away. It's not a problem on the corners because when you flip the corners, you have plenty of fabric, but you have to make sure to get your color fabrics out here to trim away and have something for your seam. However, someone contacted me and said, when I washed out my fabric, or when I washed out my stabilizer on my snowball blocks, I had all these little pieces in that area, and it was kind of hard to get them to sew them together. Kathy, I've got your vote. Yes, you too. Okay, good. And it made it hard to sew these together a little bit. I can see where it might. So I thought about that, and I've come up with another way to do these outside edges and to make the fabric in your seams all the same color. All right, so let's take this one aside and let's look at this one. This is the one I made today. You can see that all the fabric in the seam is the background fabric, the white. So this would be done with any of your background fabrics, whatever you choose as your background. If you've chosen white or navy or black or pink or another actual print or something, that it's your background fabric that you're going to be working with. Okay, so here you can see that I have stitched out, I've used black so you can see it. I've stitched out the first 2 pieces, or the first 2 steps in the process for making this block, and they always get stitched out right on your stabilizer. So you're going to need your glue stick for this. So the very first thing you would do now is you would start filling this in with all of your beautiful scraps of fabric and creating your mosaic. But in order to get your fabric down here in the instructions, it tells you to put your fabrics in these 4 areas first. Well, in order to get that to be all the same color, what you want to do is take your little glue stick and make a tiny swipe above the line and below the line, right where that section is. And you want to cut 4, now you're going to want to write this down, 4 1-inch by 2.5-inch strips of your background fabric. And when you do that, you just come in here and you lay that piece of fabric, most of it, say 3/4 on the outside and 1/4, or maybe a little more than 1/4. It's entirely up to you. There's not an exact amount, but you lay it down just like that. And you do that really quickly. And this is much quicker than doing it with your other fabrics, the way I've showed you in the past. You lay it right over in all 4 of these areas. And when you do that, after you do that, let me finish these last 2. When you do this, then you go ahead and you fill in the center. And you can put your color fabric right on this white. It doesn't matter. But then in the end, in the very end, the last part you do are the flip and stitch corners. You can see that your whole outside edge and seam area is going to be the same exact color fabric. Not that one, this one here. So, and that's how I'm going to do the rest of mine for the mini quilt that we're making, for the friendship quilt that we're making. And so you can see that way in my seams, it's all the same color and it doesn't have all of those little flippy pieces like it did on this other one. It has just this one fabric all the way around, and it still makes a beautiful mosaic in the center. All right, so let me just tell you this again. After you've stitched your first 2 machine steps onto the stabilizer, take 4 1-inch wide by 2.5 inches long of your background fabric and lay 1 strip in each of those 4 areas where you would normally have put your fabric like this, your colored fabric. And then go ahead and put all of your mosaic in the middle. Do the stitch out over the top that holds everything down. Then finish your corners and you end up with your beautiful mosaic friendship block. What do you all think of that? Does that kind of make you a little bit happier about that idea? Let's flip our cameras back now. What do you think about that, guys? So I worked on that for a while, and I like how it turned out. And like I said, I'm going to do the rest of my snowballs this way. Now, speaking of the snowball quilt, we should technically be done by now, but because I was out almost 3 weeks with COVID, I am going to extend our friendship snowball quilt along through the end of September. So we're going to have plenty of time to get caught up. And here's my tip for you. Do 1 a day. Maybe 2 if or more if you're on a roll, but do at least 1 a day. And these will come along, because you technically only needed to do 6 a week for 4 weeks and you were going to be done. So this pattern, again, is available over at the website. It's a segment single as well. Okay. Sue, you think that'll work out better? Yeah, I really like it. And that's what I mean, you guys. If you have tips or ideas or thoughts or questions or wonders, please send them to me. Because when I'm designing these blocks, I'm working more on getting the digitizing, getting the idea right. But little things like that, it didn't occur to me. And one of the reasons it didn't occur to me is because I sew all of mine together before I wash the stabilizer out. But you don't have to. You can wash the stabilizer out of each segment first if you want to, and then sew them. And I think this just works out better. And I like the way it looks. I still like the way it looks. It still gives you that beautiful mosaic look. And these are all going to be in the same quilt. For me, they're all going to, I've got some more over here. They're all going to be the same way. Okay. So if you ever have questions or anything, it's really important that you let me know. And then I can put on my thinking cap and see if I can come up with something that will help us out, because that concern actually ended up making me happier making these blocks too. So cool. Ingenious. Thanks, Kathy. You're very sweet. Alrighty, we've got just a couple more things to do. Let me go ahead and do the question of the week. Here it is. So you will have until right before we sign off to answer this question in the comments, and then I will spin the wheel, and whoever is chosen tonight will get a free copy of the new pattern, okay? And so if your name is called as a winner, please email me at support@sewincommon.com, and tomorrow I will send you your free pattern set, okay? So everybody has a chance, as long as you answer the question. And these are fun questions. They're nothing heavy or serious or anything like that. I don't need to know your shoe size. So, all right, are you guys ready for the question of the week? Here we go. Question of the week: where do you quilt? So, you know, I have a studio here that I quilt in. I used to quilt in my kitchen and dining room. When we were first married, we lived in a little shoebox of an apartment, and I quilted in my kitchen, living room, dining area. It was all one room. I have, when I was growing up, I did, because back then everything was hand pieced. I hand pieced everything in my bedroom, and I would lay it out on my father's den. My father worked at Caterpillar Tractor, but he was also a minister. And so we set up what would have been a bedroom as his study, so he could study and prepare sermons and meet with people and stuff like that. And so I would always ask him if it was okay, and I would lay my quilts out, because he was used to having to jump over his mother's quilts, my grandmother who taught me to quilt. And so he would let me lay it out. So I would hand piece in my bedroom, and I would do my quilting down in my dad's study. So where do you quilt? Let me know. Maybe I have a friend, her husband built her out a big studio above their garage. It's huge. It's like 20 by 20, built-in it's just glorious. But I personally think anywhere you quilt is glorious, because you're getting to do something you love. But let me know in the comments, where do you quilt? That's the question of the day. And I am going to, let's see, can I, okay, I can't make it roll across the bottom. Oh, wait, maybe I can. No, I can't make it roll across the bottom. So we'll leave it up there. Where do you quilt? Let us know. T has a she shed. Stop me now. I am so jealous. I want a she shed so bad. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. We have a really nice shed in the back. Well, it's not nice, but it's a good size one. But Dave refuses to give it over, because it's got his lawnmower and all that kind of stuff in it. But I'm so jealous you have a she shed. T, I must see pictures, friend. Located at the end of, it's my happy place. Good for you. Congratulations. That's so great. 10 by 16 is a good size space. I would say the studio here is probably 12 by 16. It's not much bigger than the space you have, T. And I've got it every now and again. I get a wild hair and completely redesign it, thinking it's going to be better. But that's a good size space. Sue has a sewing room where she quilts. Great. Fantastic. Kathy, you sew in your RV? That's awesome. You know, I just saw, do you guys know this whole trend about tiny homes? I think they're fantastic. I told Dave if he's ever tired of living in this house and I could just rent a studio space, I would love this idea of living in a tiny home and kind of just coming to you guys live from anywhere in the country and sharing the beautiful scenery. I just think it's a cool idea. Anyway, I just saw something about that the other day, and a gal was, her tiny home was an RV, and she had really decked this thing out, but she had set up in a cabinet where a shelf came out and came up, and it had her sewing embroidery machine on it because she was a quilter. So that's awesome. Was that you, Kathy? Was it you? I don't think her name was Kathy. You're always moving your stuff around. Yeah, why not? They say, well, when you're doing it all by machine, it's not very portable. Sure it is. My machine has a handle. That means I can take it anywhere. T just renovated her she shed. It's almost finished. Added counters and shelving. That's awesome. Good for you, T. We're actually doing a little home remodeling, not huge stuff, but a little bits and stuff. And so now that I'm feeling better, Dave and I last Sunday, was it 2 Sundays ago, we finally built out a pantry in my kitchen. There has been a closet. It used to be a utility closet. It was big. I didn't need the space and I needed a pantry. So we built it out as a really nice pantry. We went to the local home improvement store, bought shelving and really heavy duty brackets, measured everything. And I'm so happy with it. It's like having a whole new kitchen. Ruth, you quilt in your bedroom, office, sewing room. Just waiting for your grandson to move out where you can move into his bedroom. Oh no. Well, Ruth, you can quilt wherever you want. And, don't push them out too soon. That's all. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard when they go away. So good. That's great. Thank you for sharing that with me, ladies. I love it. And everybody kind of quilts somewhere different. I think that's so cool. I love that. All righty. So I'm, if there's anybody else on, because I know we've got more folks here with us tonight, you can answer and I will spin the wheel for the winner here in just a minute. Now, we're almost out of time. I want to share 2 more things with you. One is this month's block was the flower basket block. That's the 10 by 10 size, but it also comes in a 15 by 15 and a 20 by 20. Next week on Wednesday workshop, we're going to be doing something special with the 20 by 20 size. If you don't have, I mean, I know all the Quilt Lab subscribers here has this. If you don't have this, you want to go over and get this at the website. I'm going to hide the question of the week. You should know what it is by now, so you can answer if you haven't already. Where do you quilt? So you can get this at the website, because next week we're going to do a 20 by 20. Don't make one in advance, because it's not going to be exactly what you might think it's going to be. So we're changing things up a little bit, but we're going to use that 20 by 20 size. That's going to be next week's Wednesday workshop. So you're going to want to come and be with us for that. Now, one more thing before I spin the wheel is starting today and running through the 15th of September, we're having a Labor Day sale at the website. I normally don't do a Labor Day sale. However, my dear husband was born on Labor Day. He was actually born during the pet parade. His mother could hear the band and the little animals and stuff while she was giving birth. And so my dear sweet husband was born on Labor Day. So I thought I'd do a discounted sale to kind of celebrate his birthday a little bit. So the coupon code that you need is 25 Labor Day Sale 2024. Go ahead and write that down. 25 Labor Day Sale 2024. And that code is good for 25% off one item in the website. And that even means the basic combo set, where you get 6 different basic segment shapes in 3. Some of them are in 3 sizes. Some of them are in 4. So if you want to get that because you want to do some of these masterclass projects and stuff next year, now's the time to get it, when you can save yourself a few pennies that way. Actually, a good chunk of pennies that way. But that is our, we've been doing a coupon each week just for the week. But this particular coupon code, 25 Labor Day Sale 2024, is good through the 15th of September. Okay, the 15th of September, in honor of my dear sweet Dave's birthday. I actually have his gift already. I've had it for weeks. I'm ahead of the game. I can't believe it. I'm going to let that go across the bottom now so you can catch it if you still need to, but so it doesn't cover up so much of the screen. Alrighty, let's roll thing and see who is going to win. I'm spinning the wheel. I can't look. It gives me vertigo and I get sick. And the winner is Kathy Johnson. Kathy, congratulations. You have won a free copy of this week's new block set. Now, in honor of Dave's birthday, I'm going to roll this wheel again. We're going to pick another winner. I can't stand it. We're going to do it again. And the winner is Sue Varner. Sue, congratulations. So Sue and Kathy, please send me an email at let me get my email one there, at support@sewincommon.com, and send that to me and just say something in the title like, I won Wednesday workshop question or something like that, so I know what it is, and I will send you your free copies tomorrow. And I am going to write down your names just so I remember who it was, because one week I did it for everybody. I gave copies to everybody, and I didn't make a list of who was there, and there were people that weren't there that night. And so it got a little crazy. So, but that's okay. I sent them off to everybody. All right, Kathy and Sue, congratulations. Let's everybody give them a hand. Congratulations, ladies. You're very welcome. Of course, you are so welcome. Sorry. All righty. All right. We are just about out of time now. Just got a couple minutes. So I will finish out with how I finish every week. If you have any other questions, of course, send them to me at support@sewincommon.com. Please don't be shy about sending me your pictures or your thoughts and ideas so I can do a thank you for sharing segment on your stuff too, because isn't that how we all learn and get inspired? I truly, truly think that is the way. And just so you know, the website for the website address is www.mybuildaquilt.com. Remember, that has changed just recently. So it's www.mybuildaquilt.com. All righty. That was one of the new big changes we had coming. And so mybuildaquilt.com, and you can find the brand new pattern for the 5x7 string piecing block, or the other 2 string piecing blocks I showed you, or the snowball block, the mosaics, and all of the other goodies we have over there too. And we do have a lot. If you're new with us, you should know there are a lot of free patterns over there. And so if you want to dip your toes in and see, you know, if this is for you, which I'm sure it will be, grab one of those free patterns and give it a try. Everything has either a video on the YouTube or all of our patterns starting just recently with this one, this little flying geese unit. All of our patterns now have a full demonstration video with them. And so when you buy this one, you're going to get a full demonstration. There's a link. Remember, those videos are just for you. They're not to be shared or shown like to a group at a shop. But if you know a shop owner that wants to do one of these Build-A-Quilts and they would like to show the video, just have them contact me at support@sewincommon.com, and I am happy to work that out with them. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. We had a great group tonight. I'm glad to see that everybody seems to be doing well. Please take care of yourselves this week. Please, if you are in one of these nasty hot places, stay cool. Drink water. What did I hear? What did we talk about before? The doctors say to drink skim milk for hydration. So if you can handle the skim milk, give that a try. But just stay safe. Of course, as always, go quilt life beautiful, everybody. I know you will. Bye for now.